All right.
Well, we're glad you can make it, Henry. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. No last minute Lions parties, apparently.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
He said he just left one.
I heard you.
Yes. Well, we're happy to have you,
Yeah,
Shawn.
line's rolling.
All right. Well, no games to talk about. I did try watching some NFL football this weekend. Didn't go well. I saw maybe a quarter of two games each. So,
Yeah. CJ was running for his life yesterday.
you proud of that?
Am I proud of CJ Stroud running for his life? No.
Okay. That was
Hey,
I had money on him. I had money on who was the underdog today? Tampa?
Tampa.
I don't think I had Tampa today. I throw money on them to make it, in case I want to watch the game. I got a rooting interest.
Gotcha.
So graded out today.
I didn't watch that Texas
50-50.
game, but hey, hats off to Stroud. Just in this one year, and not that posing the book on Fields, but I feel like he has eliminated that false narrative bullshit curse that Ohio State can't put a quarterback in the league because CJ Stroud is legit.
I definitely agree, Shawn. I'm sure. I think he did. And with Fields is up and down, but he's a playmaker. He's
carried that team from what I gather.
Yeah, terrible ass team.
Shit team, dog shit, and they're gonna let him go because they're gonna go get Caleb Williams, I think. So maybe he'll end up in Atlanta. Maybe Belichick ends up in Atlanta. There's a lot of weapons in Atlanta to start with, so that might be a good landing spot for him. But yes, CJ definitely changed the narrative on quarterbacks, and I think we were seeing that with what we might be talking about in a little bit about a new income guy coming into the program. I think that might have a lot to do with it.
Yeah. So what do you want to start with first before we let's launch our guy Tyvis here and make sure he gets into the show. He always needs his appearance. I mean, that's what we paid for.
Hell yeah, so, Tyvis.
Let's get him in here and rolling. Try and keep the volume down if I can.
Hi, my name is Tyvis Powell, former Ohio State Buckeye and national champion DB. Welcome to the Buckeye Cast. These guys was born and bred in the Buckeye State, and they like to talk Buckeye football and drink bourbon. Subscribe to the show. Now pour up a drink and pull up a stool. Here's your host, Joe Warwick. Get him, Joe.
All right, Tyvis, my guy. Keeping it real. So let's where should we start? I don't know what to start with. Hey, I don't know if you guys have listened to the show, probably not. But we have a video vault coming your way with all of the recruiting highlight videos you could ever want for current classes, forward class 25, 26. We're going to have transfer portal guys in there. Like I'm going to have all of Will Howard's snaps against like Oklahoma State, for example. This is going to be on the buckeyecast.com. I'll alert you when it's ready, but we're looking at rolling it out this week. So I want you guys to get in there and get first crack at it. We'll probably do a free trial to get started, and it's really simple. You just click on what you want to view, and it just shows you the videos. Kind of like a YouTube, but you're able to filter through different categories. Like, say, I want to see 2025 recruiting videos for everybody we've offered. Those will be there. Just click on that. So I'll do a walkthrough for one of the shows after we launch. So Just want to keep you guys up to date on where that stands. And what else? Basically, we're just going through changes. David Bowie. You guys want to start with coaching or transfer portal changes?
Let's get the coaching stuff squared away. Then we can spend a lot of time gloating about the players we picked out.
Right.
But yeah, let's get everybody squared away on what the coaching staff situation is.
Okay, so we first of all we have to set some boundaries and some defining of terms. So when we refer to Bob, it's actually Bill O'Brien. Okay, Bill is Bob, Bob is Bill. All right. We went through this pretty heavy on Friday on the rush hour. I asked what everybody wanted to call him. Everybody voted Bob. I think Odysseus led the charge on that one. So I'm good with it. Bill O'Brien is like way too many syllables, right? We're sticking with Bob.
B-O-B or Bob. Yeah. If you say Coach Bob, everybody knows what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bill is Bob going forward as we talk about Bill O'Brien. So,
I'll understand what you're saying when you say Bob, but I might say Bill O'Brien.
Okay, you can go more verbose.
This is going to take me getting used to. I just can't switch it. So
hey, I started with Billy O. I was going ass chin, anus chin. Those are my first three suggestions. Nobody went for those. So Bob is what we settled at.
Yeah, nobody wants to keep saying anus.
I thought you would have been all over the ass chin.
I would have went BC with butt chin. I would have went just BC, Coach BC. But I'll go Bob. I'm good.
Ass chin coming out of your mouth sounds more appropriate. Anyway, let's talk about Bill O'Brien, new offensive coordinator. So there's 3 points to this statement they put out. So obviously, number one is Bill O'Brien, 34-year-old coaching vet, 34 years of coaching experience, 54 years old. But that's the main topic. But there's 2 subtopics to that. And that is Brian Hartline will be co-offensive coordinator. So you're definitely not cutting his pay or his title. And then Corey Dennis will be transitioned, quote unquote, to a still to be determined role with the program. So I don't know if you've ever been transitioned before, Jeff, but it doesn't go well.
No, I'm pretty good with what I got. But it's nice to be able to keep him happy, I guess, by keeping him in the program, because he's a great relationship builder and recruiter in that aspect. Whereas Bob won't be much on the recruiting trail. I would say more like Jim Knowles. So
yeah,
maybe he'll be in a position where he can still be on the road, not an analyst position. You know what I mean? Do a lot of the legwork. I didn't think he was ready for his position, but I think he is still valuable to the program.
Okay. So let's before we get to
so weird. It's just so weird to me. Like, what? That ever happened anywhere before?
What's that?
The OC
hiring a son-in-law?
No, now the OC is going to go sit in an office somewhere. What?
What do you mean, Shawn?
He's
like
the head coach of the offense.
You mean like retaining of a quarterback's coach?
No, who's the OC that's gone?
No,
there is no OC that's gone.
Oh, it's Dennis. But he's sticking around the
quarterback's coach.
And he's sticking around though.
Maybe. I think he's probably, if he's smart, he's looking for like full-time employment, not a transitional role where it's basically like you're transitioning to be a fan of the Buckeyes. I would assume he's looking for, like, he can go get a quarterback coach job. He might even be able to get an OC job somewhere. I don't know. Brian Hartline has interviewed for head coaching jobs and OC jobs. 2 years ago, so with zero experience. So I think Corey Dennis actually had the Colorado State job. Was that quarterbacks coach under Adazio back in, was it 19? I think it was 2019. Steve Adazio took the CSU job, the head coaching job, and he actually hired Corey Dennis. I don't think he was going to be OC, but probably quarterbacks coach. I'm sure it was a favor to Herb. Herb was probably trying to get his son-in-law a job. And then Ryan Day got pressure from Herb as well and hired Corey Dennis as the QB coach, which he's great with the families. He's great at recruiting, establishing these relationships and all that, but he doesn't have any fucking quarterback experience.
No,
he
played receiver. Yeah, played receiver in college. And I guess how it was explained, how I heard it, Ryan Day would always have the starting quarterback, and Dennis would work with the backups.
Right.
So I mean, it wasn't like, but I think now the reversal, Bob is going to have full control of the offense with all with the input of Hartline, but also be the quarterback's coach.
Yeah.
So Day will be more of that CEO overlord type position that we've been talking about.
Yeah. Upper management.
Which, we have, I mean, everybody has different opinions on that, but I think it's going to be, if it's done right, could be very beneficial.
Yeah. I mean, for 5 years, Ryan Day's tried to be head coach, OC, play caller, and quarterbacks coach. Right.
Which, yes, too much.
And what got him to his position was his OC and play caller ability, his talent there, right?
Yep.
But now that he's a head coach, the job has changed in 5 years. With NIL and the portal, all that shit. You can't do it. You can't do it at home. And we've seen him struggle in-game coaching, right? Situation. I mean, just go back to the Michigan game for your most recent example. That first half, where he ends up kicking a 51-yard field goal, missing it.
Yes, a lot of little things that you're focused on calling the next play or getting to your quarterback's ear and not focusing on game operation. You're right. There's a lot of little things that should be stamped out.
Right.
And I mean that's football, right? But I think that's the evolution of a coach. Is that they almost all start out that way. Hey, they're an offensive, defensive guy. They're running it kind of their way. But the great ones, they know you can't do it all. You have to give it up. So again, Day, I think maybe is learning. He's got to give that up a little bit. I hope.
Yeah.
It's what it looks like. Because I mean,
they always got their fingerprint on it, right? I mean, it's their offense, but
it's still a Ryan Day offense. It's not like Bill O'Brien is bringing his offense. I mean, they're both NFL style offenses. Even though Ryan Day's been in college for like 6 years now, 7 almost. So it's still an offense, an NFL pro style offense. So, and Bill O'Brien, that's all he's done, really. I mean.
Yeah, and he'll have some wrinkles and stuff, but I mean, it's like with Kevin Wilson, there's gonna be more of that feedback, and Hartline's gonna help with the game planning, but he's not a play caller. We'll have Bob up in the booth, like Knowles is up in the booth.
That's what I don't know. I've never seen Bill O'Brien in the booth. Have you? With the Patriots, he's always been on the sidelines, motherfucking Tom Brady.
Where was he at Bama? I thought he was in the booth at Bama. But I didn't pay that close of attention to which coaches were on the sideline with next to Saban. But I would just think naturally, maybe Hartline moves to the booth then. I mean, one of them will be in the booth. If you have co-offensive coordinators, one's going to be up top with the eyes in the sky, right?
Mm-hmm. I think your coordinators both should be, honestly, in my opinion.
And with Ryan Day still involved in the offense, there's between the three of them, do you need two in the booth communicating to Ryan, or one to be the buffer, the communication from up top to the field to then Ryan Day?
Oh yeah, he was in the booth with Alabama. I got photos of it
Okay, that's what I thought.
with his hat backwards.
Pencil
So,
in the ear, maybe.
if that matters.
It does matter. It shows intensity. I love it.
Oh, okay.
Fucking rally cap that shit.
So Joe, I
Go,
want to hear
Bob.
your opinion. Joe, I want to hear your opinion on the choice of Bob as the OC.
I think he's the best option available because Ryan Day obviously was holding out for an NFL guy. Otherwise, he could have gone and plucked like a Ryan, what's his name? Grubb from Washington, possibly. Another guy that's just a college assistant coach. He could have gone and got, oh, fuck, I'm trying to think of the list. He was not going to get a Joe Brady. What?
What's his name at Toledo?
Oh, Kendall. Yeah, he could have gotten a MAC head coach. I'm not sure that carries much for you, especially a guy that's already a head coach. There's also Joe Moorhead, Akron's head coach. He took a job with, who was that? UCLA? Maybe? I forget. I think he went out west. Anyway, so Ryan Day obviously needed somebody with experience calling plays as priority one in a pro style offense that he runs, and maybe bringing your ideas with it. I don't know if you could find somebody more experienced. Players? I don't know if Bill O'Brien's going to bring anybody from the NFL.
No, from Bama.
Well, he was with the Patriots last year. I guess you could give him some credit for Julian Sayin. I think Julian Sayin would have come regardless of Bill O'Brien because it's still the Ryan Day offense. O'Brien's running it and calling the plays. Maybe he's going to bring in his own wrinkles to it. But in essence, we're not going to see like a major shift in the offense.
No. What would be the point of that? I mean, that's not going to happen. I mean, we got everything we need. But yeah, you're right, Joe. I agree with you with the best pro experienced guy. Those other, that thought of Joe Philbin moving into OC, that scared the hell out of me.
He's like fucking 70 almost, man.
Yeah, I mean, we went back a couple Fridays ago when I was on with you. We I was not wanting an NFL retread guy. But I understand the logic now of when it was explained why he chose that route, and it makes more sense. So we still got to trust Ryan Day, right? I mean, we still got to trust him, openly, with his choices, I think so.
And you got to look at it from this point of view, basically Ryan Day's point of view right now. We are all in for 2024 in all aspects. Off like players, coaches, all the choices being made right now are ultra aggressive and focused on a national championship this year, starting in January, where we're at.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's the writing's on the wall. I mean, it's everybody came back. I mean, that list of dudes that came back and then the dudes that are coming in, and I'm sure we'll get to it. Some of it doesn't even make sense, but 100%, we're going for broke here. And I don't think you got to win it or, Dave's fired. You got to beat Michigan, I think. But deep run in this new style playoffs, I think it's going to be needed.
Yeah, you can't just trickle your way in. Backdoor your way into the playoffs. You got to hopefully get a bye first round.
Yeah, we got to be top 4 for sure.
Because if you beat the cheaters, then you go to the Big Ten championship. Then you need some time off, right? I'm not sure where they expect to get the first round started. We haven't really seen a map of that yet, but it seems like the season's going to start a little sooner. Like week one will be what was week 0, so probably the week before Labor Day.
Last week of August.
Yeah, exactly. The week before Labor Day would be week 1 now. Remember Gary, our guy Gary Stoken, the president of the Peach Bowl? Yeah, he laid it out, 2 years ago? About moving the calendar up.
You have to. I mean, you're playing 16 games to the championship. You can't. You got to get it going earlier.
Yeah. We'll get your comments in the chat, folks. I promise. I just want to get through the rest of this Bill O'Brien stuff. Anything else we need to cover there? I mean, I feel really strong about him being a good, solid play caller, and I know he's from Massachusetts, anyways. So you got the the New England Mafia going there. Maybe the Ryan Day private eye firm hired him. I don't know. We'll find out in years to come. But
I'm not worried about the hire at all. It's all going to come down to the chemistry, how it works out. Is Ryan Day capable of letting this go? Will it be more of a group think between them, and Hartline still kind of is the understudy? I mean, we'll just see how it plays out. But I'm happy with the guy as a coach, as a guy that we're bringing in. We'll just see how that dynamic works between the three of them.
I think it's good for Hartline to learn under an OC, not under a Ryan Day that is getting pulled in 50 directions all day, every day. You got an OC, his job is probably part of it, train up Hartline, right?
Sure.
Hartline's never called plays. He's helped organize the offense and like the middle of the week stuff, like getting these are the group. This is the group of plays we want to run. 3rd and 4, this is what we want. 4th and 1, this is what we want to run. Organizing things maybe, but he's never fucking called play, and that takes time and a lot of experience. So it's good for him. If we can get a solid 2 years out of Bob, I feel really good about Hartline going forward as possibly the future OC after that. And if we get anything extra out of Bob, great.
That makes sense. That general that timeline. I think he signed. They always sign the coaches to a 2-year contract, but he might, if he gets an offer to get back in the NFL after next year, that might happen. I mean, I'm sure they're preparing for that, but I think Ryan Day is gonna allow Ryan Day to be out. He's gonna be doing more of the recruiting than Bob would be. Kind of like how Knowles doesn't travel too much and doesn't get out very much. You'll have the assistant coaches will be doing more of the legwork, and Ryan Day getting in the living room is going to be huge.
So I think the money and if Bob doesn't have to go on the recruiting trail, he was only making 1.1 with Alabama per year on a 2-year deal. He made $3 million per year as head coach of the Texans.
What do we got him at? I didn't
don't know. They'll release that, as public record because it's a state university. They release all the coaches' salaries like I want to say February-ish, something like that. But I guarantee you, well, I know Hartline's like 1.6 mil.
Yeah,
so
he's
going to be
2.
more than that. Yeah, he's going to be around 2, which is Jim Knowles' neighborhood.
That's what I was thinking.
I can't believe it. He only made $3 million a year as a head coach in the NFL. Oof. Who's your agent?
Right.
Yikes. So Corey Dennis is probably looking for a job. If he doesn't find one, Ryan Day will make him an analyst, an off the field coach. So, all right, let's talk about the roster and transfer portal stuff. We should probably pop in the chat. Chat is lively tonight. A lot of the usual suspects here. Let's read and react. I'll give you guys a quick moment to react when I find something good for you. Steven says, let's go. Billy says, waiting on Boom Master Joe. Sorry, I was a little late. I had to prepare videos. Still, I think I just finished uploading the Julian saying Breaking Boom's video. So you're welcome. Go check that out after the show, obviously. Tyrone says, what's up? What? Hello?
Yeah, sorry. My computer went haywire.
Odysseus said, Tyrone says, what's up, everyone? Should be a great show tonight. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Odysseus says, best period roster building I can remember. You on your period? You need a cranberry and vodka?
Let me piss on your parade here in a minute.
About what was that movie, Jeff? Nicholson?
Oh, The Departed.
The Departed. There you go.
What are you on your period?
All right. Yeah, but I think this is one of the best rosters ever. Billy says we need to trade Sayan or Nolan to Iowa for Proctor. It's a win for everybody except Sayan or Nolan. All right. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm for that. That's the one spot that I don't see that we've done much for. That's still our big weakness is the O-line.
Yeah, I agree.
We're
gonna have to attack that after
for all
spring
these
ball.
big wins that we're getting without an O-line, they're not going to mean much.
You know, but we have to trust that Fry is doing his job in development, and some of those freshmen like Montgomery, maybe are, another year of development, and they might be ready to step up. And you got to imagine that Simmons is going to be better. Donovan
Jackson came back. He should play like a sophomore.
So, I mean, you're right. We did address the center though. We have a center that's coming in with experience.
Who?
McLaughlin from Bama.
Fine
watch
Irishman.
that game?
What?
Did you watch that game?
Yeah, I watched that game.
That doesn't make me feel comfortable if he's going to be our center.
Well, let's say he's a guard or center. Let's say he's possibly a guard.
I think he's an upgrade of what we were dealing with last year.
Yeah.
Not top level, I wouldn't say yet, but an upgrade for sure.
All right, so you guys are cool with trading a quarterback for a left tackle?
Yeah.
Right.
I think
Stephen Cherry says Saban retiring has sparked the makings of a Buckeye dynasty. I like that.
Well, I like that.
If nothing else, that roster, that roster has shattered into 85 pieces, man. They have 30 dudes in the portal. 30.
Why is that? Because I actually really like that hire, that DeBoer. I thought he did a heck of a job.
That's the thing. Everybody went there to play for Saban. That's why a lot of them didn't take huge NIL deals. Alabama doesn't have huge NIL deals. People go there to play for the legend. Now the legend's gone. People are gone.
Yeah. That's
and Georgia hired T-Rob, their position coach for the strongest position on their team, the secondary. That's fucking cutthroat, man. But I get it. I'm not arguing it. I can't pull it. What did you say, Jeff?
I was just saying that Bama, they ruled college football for over a decade. Nobody's
17 years.
Nobody's crying for Bama. I'm shocked that as many guys are leaving as they are, but that's what happens. The board's
that staff has changed, man. It could happen to us tomorrow. If we change coaches, that entire staff is gone. Fuck. It's not like, it doesn't matter if they're changing the scheme on offense or defense. I committed to this coach or this staff. The staff is gone. I'm gone. I get it. Odysseus says, if Fry steps it up, we have what we need on the O-line. Yeah. Billy says, if.
Yeah. It's a big
Agreed,
if.
Billy.
Yeah. Odysseus says just need to develop them. Steven says competition separates contenders from pretenders. Let the best man earn QB1. That's the thing is nobody's earning QB1 in this 2024 class yet. They're not even in contention to be a starter. It's going to be Will Howard versus Devin Brown. And hey, I got a question for you guys while I bring up Devin Brown. I mentioned this on Friday, and I want to know how you guys feel. Have you guys felt the swing of the fan base against Devin Brown since the Cotton Bowl? He was the shit. Like everybody was like, you gotta play Devin Brown. He has to be the starter in 2024. This and that and this and that. The O-line goes out there, lets him get fucking mutilated, obliterated, and castrated on the field. And now everybody's saying that Devin Brown's injury prone.
I don't know who everybody is on that, but
Fan base in general.
look,
Nobody's talking
I
about
think
Devin Brown.
from the small sample size that we've seen of Devin Brown, not impressed. I didn't want to close the book on him, but not impressed, and think that we did exactly what we needed to do, bringing in the transfer. That to me, he's probably coming in here thinking he can win this job. Hopefully that lights a fire under Devin Brown. He always seems like a rah-rah, like I'll work my ass off to get it. Why are you not bringing up Kindholes? Is he out of this discussion?
He's
I
not
think
a legit option for QB1 this year. I'm focused on 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kenos was not. You could tell his development is not there yet. I mean, he was not prepared to play in that game. And the O-line did him no favors, of course, but he couldn't. You could tell his development isn't there yet, which is an indictment on Corey Dennis with dealing with the backup quarterback. So I don't know if Kenos can make that big of a leap from what we saw in the Cotton Bowl to spring ball to be a challenger, a legit challenger for the job.
He's only been on campus for 6 months.
Right. Yeah. And so, yeah, but he or Aaron Nolan, we're probably going to lose one of them two in spring for sure.
No, I think you're going to lose Devin Brown and or Lincoln Kindholes after spring. Keenholes. I was fucked up.
Yeah. Maybe two of them.
You could lose both. Devin is the one with the short time frame to work with. Lincoln's got 4 more years. Devin's got what, 2, 3? So he's the one that's under the gun to get on a team where he can be a starter.
Yeah. So yeah, if it's clear in the spring that Howard's gonna taking that job, and shows that I'll play Devin, then I think Brown he'll probably would jump in when that window opens in May.
Hey, hit the like button, folks. We got 8 likes. We got almost 200 people in here watching.
Give us a thumb in. Give us a thumbing up.
Oh, Jeff, this is a family program. No. So back to the chat here. Nick Newland says, "What's up, boys? What's up, Nick?
What's up, Nick?
What are we drinking?"
What's
up? Billy says, "I don't know if Sayan has a higher ceiling than Nolan, but I think now he's more game ready." Okay. I don't know if either of them are more game ready.
How do you say that? A freshman compared to an incoming, 2 incoming freshmen, how do you say one's more game ready than the other? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
but
yeah.
I wonder how that conversation went with Aaron Nolan. When the Julian saying when the opportunity arose, like did they go to Aaron Nolan and how cool is he with battling with a guy in his class, or
I would assume that they spoke to Aaron Nolan about it, but again, if you're a 5-star quarterback, are you concerned? Are you worried about competing? And again, they're not competing for the starting job. You know,
Again, I
this
think
year.
this. I think this whole thing's changed now. That I don't think they care at all anymore. I think they care less now because they're like, you know what? Okay, let's go learn under these guys. These guys, put out serious quarterbacks. Can learn there for a year or two, and then we take an NIL deal, transfer out, and get paid. But we're getting, some of the best training out there. Yeah, we can go to wherever the fuck and get paid maybe a bunch right now and play too early, and not learn the game. I just, to me, I think you'll see a lot more of that. Where before you wouldn't have two 5-star guys, it'd be like, no way. It's just, hey, we got our guys, so the other guy's not coming. But now I think you'll see more of, at any position. I think you could see that more of. If you got serious coaches that you see that they're getting developed there, and like wide
Sure.
receivers, all the wide receivers that go, and JMO and these guys that go off and have success somewhere else. I think even now with the portal and the NIL, it's going to make it a lot easier for guys to do that.
Yeah, I agree,
Yeah.
Shawn. Yeah. They're,
And the thing is, but there are things that could trip you up as one of these 2024 quarterbacks, like an injury. What if you hit your thumb on a helmet, and that sets your timeline back a little bit, so that could change things. And I see my issue is in some of the commenters earlier today were saying, oh, we just lost Aaron Nolan, just like making it an emotional decision. It doesn't have to be an emotional thing,
I think Aaron Nolan still wins that job.
He could. There's nobody to say either way right now. They're not winning any job right now in 2024 anyway. I mean, there's going to be like maybe slight levels of degree of difference between Sayan and Nolan this year through practice, but they're not competing for a starting job or even a backup job, honestly.
Why? I don't know. Maybe they're unicorn. Maybe they're Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see. Like you said, Joe, in the spring, if Howard takes over the starting job and he's named starter out of spring ball, and say Devin Brown jumps in the portal and Keno says, "I've had a couple years here. I've had 2 years here now. I'm gonna go try to find the landing spot." Well, then you're just looking at Aaron Nolan and Julian saying, "Man, you have 3, scholarship quarterbacks. They're gonna give it at least another year. Wait till they're going into their sophomore year, and they're gonna say, well, I gave it a year or two. Now it's time for me to jump."
They can both redshirt this year and wouldn't cost them a thing, other than they got trained by Ryan Day.
Yeah,
and Bill O'Brien. That's probably how it's going to play out. I think they both redshirt, most likely, unless we do lose both Brown and Keno. But back to the chat here as we plow through things, and we'll get back to the other transfer portal items. Billy says Caleb Williams could be a big mistake. Yeah, and I would not want that dude operating my NFL team. Anyway, Odysseus says Booger Eater may be Atlanta coach. Hope my Bears keep Fields. Right? I think by Booger Eater he means Harbaugh. Harbaugh has scheduled a second interview with Atlanta. What happened with the Chargers? I figured that would be his priority, like one.
Yeah, and Belichick he's already had 2 meetings with the Falcons. So yeah, I thought Chargers and Harbaugh back to Southern California was pretty much a done deal. It might be a done deal. That's a lot of that stuff for show.
Jeremiah says, here we go, Joe. Our Ohio State Buckeyes are killing it in the portal. We were not done yet. Let's go. All right, Jeremiah. Odysseus says Caleb Williams is a surefire bust. I can't argue with you there. I don't see it. But Jay Third says Ohio State is a new power program. Were we ever not a power program? Is my question. Thoughts?
Well, we've been a top 5 program in the, one of the, a lot of times, like in the same breath of Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, we're we're even with our struggles versus Michigan, we're still mentioned with Bama in Georgia. Now with Bama gonna obviously most likely taking a step back. We'll see how far of a step, but yeah, I mean we've never been down. We're for 50 years, 60 years, we've never been down, and nobody can say that. So, but we're at the top. We're right there. We're the handful of teams that can compete for a national title every year. There's only 3 or 4.
We're in the conversation every decade, and the other names change, but Ohio State's in those conversations. Doesn't matter the decade. Bama comes and goes, USC comes and goes, Nebraska, Texas, Florida, Florida State.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. We always been him.
Been him. Been them.
Yeah. So I just found a quote, a brief quote anyway, that anyway, about the quarterbacks, Aaron Nolan says Julian Sand will definitely make the room better, I think is what he said. I couldn't read the whole thing.
Yeah, he's the number 1 quarterback in the country last year. I mean, consensus number 1 quarterback available, and he went to Bama. He's got to at least add depth, prestige, talent.
So he was on campus for 2 weeks and then bailed. Is that right?
Not even that, like 11 days.
Yeah, because Saban waited till that early signing period. He
really screwed them.
Well, I mean, he could have, if he would have retired before.
Saying on 247 is the 3rd best quarterback.
No,
you still got
not in the 24 class.
I'm looking at it right now. 247.
View recruiting profile.
I'll do composite. That was top 247. Let's see.
Number 1.
Yes. Dylan Raiola was number 1 quarterback.
Surprising how
quickly
on that
how quickly
one.
You can fall off.
Okay, yeah.
Back to the chat. Let's keep this rolling. Boom, boom, boom. Billy says we need all Ohio mamas to fatten up their kids so we can get all our own linemen in state. That's coming soon, honestly. Maybe they've already heard you, Billy, or maybe you know something I don't. But the 2026 class in Ohio is going to be beefy. 25 class is good. 26, look the fuck out. Hopefully Justin Frye makes it that long. In Ohio, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I just did I have a show coming out tomorrow about the top 5 2025 O linemen. 1, 2 are from Ohio for 25, but 26 is fucking loaded. They just had junior day on campus this weekend at Ohio State, and they had a truckload of 2026 guys that got offers. Will Conroy, I believe he's an Ignatius guy. Ignatius is loaded right now, man. There's a Glenville linebacker, of course. I mean, because why wouldn't there be? And some other guys, but without getting too deep into that, you got to tune in tomorrow. Stephen Cherry says Bob was a safe pick as offensive coordinator. Okay, I'm all right with that. If that's safe, I don't know what the other options were. You weren't getting a Joe Brady. I'm tired of hearing that name. He was not going back to college. Who else in the NFL was going to go back to college? Nobody I know of. Al Rudigard. What's that?
I was surprised that Bob was willing to come back. I was surprised we got him.
I'm surprised we got an NFL coordinator to come to college, but that staff in New England was probably all let go at the same time. And, he was only there, what, a year or two? A year, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. With
Because
Patriots,
he was
then went
with
to Bama.
Alabama for 2.
Yeah. And then back with New England for 1.
Did get Bryce Young a Heisman, by the way. 2021. Little guy. Billy says Bob will teach Hartline and Dave with all of his experience. Hartline is the key name there, in my opinion. Odysseus says Bob probably got a saying. And then Odysseus says Dennis gets Bob's coffee. Yeah. You've been transitioned to coffee getter. Kind of where you started. Billy says Dennis could probably get an OC job in Conference USA or the MAC. Yeah, with 0 experience, definitely. What else here? I love when the chat jumps around for me. Backing up. Oh yeah. Billy says, or Travis says maybe Herbs can get Dennis a job at Fox. Billy says bringing coffee for the big noon crew. Travis says take the sweets to the dry cleaners and stuff. Suits, yes, look like sweets. Because there's an E in there. Odysseus says I think he was at Bama. Who? What are you, a fucking owl? Billy says, I see Day and Bob discussing offensive philosophy and play calling should sharpen them both. Exactly. Basically, a more experienced in the NFL, Kevin Wilson. Kevin Wilson didn't necessarily call the plays, but he had a major influence on play calling, in game.
Oh yeah, he was then in the room at the game planning. Like, yeah, he was able to talk with Ryan Day with the experience, like because nobody else on the offensive staff has ever called plays. Alfred, Fry, Hartline, none of them.
Right.
So I think we were missing that experience.
Yeah, I got nothing new on the Jason Taylor front. We had a question in the chat here from Odysseus asks, we should see more motion and quick developing routes. Okay. You mean slants? Seemed like we ran a lot of slants with McCord. Stephen Cherry says, is Jason Taylor taking over for LJ? I got nothing new on that front, man. I haven't heard anything in days. Seems like that's quieted down. So I don't know. I hope that there is some transition plan that's going to happen this off season. Just you can't just let Larry retire this month. With Edric Houston coming in and Ryan Day, telling Edric Houston on signing day, no, Larry is not retired.
Maybe he told him he is, and that's why he came.
So, Joe, we still don't have. I mean, the coaching staff is not fully formed yet. We still have an open position, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know we're talking D-line coach, like the co-D-line coach, whatever, possibly replacing, with like what you're talking about with LJ. But
yeah,
James Laurinaitis, I would be super disappointed with all the good that's been happening if we don't play our cards right and let him go find a higher position with another school. I think he is vital to our coaching staff, especially with Knowles' lack of traveling and recruiting. We need Laurinaitis in living rooms getting stud defensive players. I think that's vital. I mean, he's everything you want a defensive coach to be. I hope we don't screw around and try to talk him into being a GA again, and he gets an offer to be a big time offer somewhere, and then goes. I would be.
I know. I'm with you, Jeff.
Well, he's
Right
actually
on.
said he's told Ryan Day that he's willing to be a GA for one more year. I'm sure he probably wants a bump in pay, but he said he's willing to do that if it helps this staff transition, you know. So,
and that's
obviously
why
he
you
wants to be
do.
at Ohio State, right? I mean,
Yes.
he left a full-time job at Notre Dame to come here, be a GA. He could be a full-timer under Marcus right now.
Sure.
You know, so he wants to be there.
I just hope, yes, I hope he does, and I hope we just don't. I hope he never gets the feeling of he's being taken advantage of because of his love and loyalty to the university. I just don't want him to screw it up. I don't want it to get, you know, he's vital. We can't afford to lose him. You know, I just think he's that important. In all aspects of our defense, recruiting, knowledge, relatability, you know, with players, everything. Just like Heartline, they played together, you know, same years almost. So I think he can be what to our defense, what Heartline is to our offense. I think he's that important.
Yeah, I mean, but he is still young and inexperienced. He has like almost no experience as a coach. Same with Jason Taylor. I've made the same argument before when his name first came up for a co-D line coach. I'm like, well, what the fuck has he done? So I dug in on his resume. He was an analyst 2 years ago. He was a co-defensive line coach at Miami, still is right now, University of Miami. So he would have been doing that co-D line coach job again, or could be at Miami again this year. And that's it. That's his coaching experience in college. Before the previous 2 years, he was coaching at St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, but what was Heartline? What was Heartline's experience before coming to App State?
We're not comparing Heartline to Jason Taylor, Shawn.
I know, but you're saying like, you know, the guy doesn't have experience or whatever. I think that, you know, why can't him or Leonidas without experience be the next guy? They've been around it. You know, it's not like they're that crazy new to it, and especially at their positions. And I feel like you know, a lot of it is, I mean, Jason Taylor just has to teach technique and things like that. He ain't putting together game plans and that. And
I didn't say he was a bad choice. I just was raising the question, Shawn, like you like to do. Challenge everything, right? Question everything.
Yeah.
yeah. Of course, I'm just saying, just because they're not experienced, I'm not worried about that at all.
Okay.
Jason Taylor would.
I think for a broad overview, people need to remember that just because a guy played well in college and the NFL doesn't make him a great coach immediately in college. I think that's something you have to learn. You have to learn to be suddenly not a player, but a teacher. You have to teach and communicate. Not all NFL guys can do that. We've seen it. We've seen it go bad for most. You know, that's my main point about bringing in guys in their 30s that, you know, one might have a gold jacket. Jason Taylor, fucking Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's awesome. But can you coach?
Where's it went wrong at Ohio State?
Not Ohio State necessarily, but I've seen a lot
of
former players.
It works for us. That's all I'm saying. It works at Ohio State.
For Hartley.
And most of the coaches that we've had that were, you know, we've mostly had guys that played at Ohio State. You know, well, Hartline, but Tim Walton.
Walton had to go out and accrue years and years and years of experience. You know, he's like pushing 50.
Is he that old? Wow. Yeah, and he's had players who have become big time players on his resume, Jalen Ramsey and stuff. But yeah, those are years. You're right, Joe. Years and years of working.
But go with a heck of a coach.
I think it's clear. I think it's clear that Laurinaitis he's got all the makings of what a coach, what he needs. I think I think Laurinaitis is a key. He's a guy you can tell right away. He would be a great coach. I think he has the temperament as everything, the respect earned and everything like that. So especially a Buckeye coming back to coach at Ohio State, like Hartline, it's just the recruiting and all that stuff. It all just follows. It all just blends together. But yeah, we'll see what they do. If he's willing to wait another year, and we can bring in a name like Jason Taylor or one of the other guys that has worked under Larry Johnson to kind of prepare him to take over for Larry. The next year when Larry leaves, that guy gets promoted to D-line. Laurinaitis is going to have to be promoted to linebackers coach. Yeah, so we're going to have to go through another change.
But it's minor. It's a relatively minor change.
Sure. Yeah, I just we just can't lose him. That would be the only after this big of an off season to do something to mess up his trajectory it'd be disappointing.
I think it's a lot of worrying about nothing. Again, I think he wants to be at Ohio State, and he said so much that he's willing to be a GA for another year.
I didn't know that was public. I knew that was. I didn't know how.
That's awesome. I feel like what you said earlier, like this whole staff's all in. Like even Laurinaitis, like, yeah, I'll do it. It's like he's coming back for his senior year. He could go pro and make a bunch of money, but it's like, nope, I'm going to be here. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, back to the chat here. Let's rifle through some of these. So Odysseus says, I don't see any non-bye teams winning at all. Too much injury attrition. I thought everybody had bye weeks. I'm not sure about that.
What's he talking about? The top four seeds. The
playoffs, the first round. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, top four. Yeah, that's a good point. Especially late in the season, end of the year, you need all the rest you can get. But good point. Billy says most OCs come up through several coaches and programs till they make it to coordinator. Hartline has just been under Day. Yeah, no experience. That's why he's not calling plays yet. The spot. I love that. Says, F no, I'll trade Brown. Trade Brown to Iowa. Okay.
Yeah.
Billy says, I checked with Iowa. They don't want Brown. Billy says, McLaughlin let up 1 sack in over 900 pass blocking plays. Good stat, Billy. I like it. That's a lot of pass blocking plays.
He's had some issues with the snap. I mean, but that can be
he said sack. 1 sack. Not one good snap.
Well, I'm saying, the issues he has with the snap, the little snaps, that can be ironed out. I mean, if it's just mental or technique or what, that can be fixed.
He's got the yips.
And if he's got the yips, he needs to move to right guard.
Yep.
I mean,
so we got a new guy in here. I don't know if I can even read this fucking name. There's an X in the place where there should be E's throughout this username. So this is me doing my best. The Renaissance Worldwide. So wherever there's an E, picture an X and try and read that. Anyways, and he types in all caps. So I love that right off the bat. Says Devin Brown was absolutely never the shit. All right. Did anybody say that he was? I missed that.
Well, I mean, yeah, that he wasn't. You're right. We don't think he was. He didn't flash anything. But they, like you were talking earlier, Joe, the injury in spring kind of put him behind McCord, and McCord kind of moved ahead of him. We don't know, playing a whole year, how much better or worse he would have been than McCord. Yeah. But it wasn't Justin Fields. It wasn't C.J. Stroud that we missed out on. We knew that much.
Yeah.
Well, the spot says, yeah, he really didn't do anything for me, I assume is what you mean. Okay. The Renaissance Worldwide, #HSMG says, I don't care how poorly the O-line played, but Devin did not look good. Well, the two go hand in hand. It's a team sport. So trying to give
Yeah,
them a little grace here.
I don't know how much more. I don't know how much better McCord would have looked, with that same performance. They were gonna
Mhm.
rush the hell out of him. And not having Marv to lean on. I don't know what McCord might have looked. He would have had more experience dealing with it. Maybe get the ball out quicker, but McCord wasn't good enough to overcome it. Very few quarterbacks are. When you're just running for your life instantly.
Yeah. Odysseus says Brown didn't go through his reads any better than McCord.
No.
Again, if everything's sped up and you have zero time, how do you go through reads?
You haven't played all year, really.
Not like what? He played a couple halves early in the season. Then they gave McCord the starting job like week 3.
Something like
week
that.
4. Yeah. So months without starting. Travis says, I'm in and out of here because I'm a Bills fan. What I miss? Oh, nothing, Travis. Trust me.
Go Bills.
Mundane. Billy says, plus he seems injury prone. Okay. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I keep hearing from the fans is that Devin Brown is injury prone when a lot of that seemed to be on I think people always go back to the most recent thing they saw. And that was the O-line folding up like a cheap suit. And I don't know if that's fair to the quarterback. Notice we couldn't run the ball either. Renaissance Worldwide, hashtag HSMG. I loved reading this username. Hey, he has never been a consistent passer since he stepped on campus.
Well,
all caps. All caps are the best.
we a lot of that stuff we don't know. I mean, we're just going off. But he couldn't beat McCord out for the job, so we know if we're trusting the coaching staff judgment. But they said that contest was pretty close. Remember the one headline that came out that the coaching staff were like 50-50 on who they liked. But it's an upgrade. Will Howard is an upgrade. Julian Sane is an upgrade. You're trying to build a program when you acquire the most talent you can. If you can acquire it, get it.
How are we getting all this talent, Joe? Is our NIL like going off the charts?
The local businesses finally kicked in their money that they should have years ago. That's really what it's come down to. And it's taken losing to Michigan 3 years in a row for these assholes to finally pony up. It's not us little guys giving our $20 a month or whatever we're given. It's the big money boosters in the area chipping in, doing their part, because they're tired of watching Ohio State lose to the fucking cheaters. It's really what it's all about. It's the big money boosters finally realizing, oh, we don't have to give this money to the fucking school. We can give it to the collectives. And obviously it's paying dividends right off the bat. I mean, fucking Caleb Downs, he's getting $2 million a year, and it could be more. It could grow.
That's reported.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. And
I'll be here 2 years.
Yeah. I think it seems like there's more organization, overall in the NIL department. Like it took us a while. We're starting to play it like the Southern schools do, and I think within each of the NIL, the collectives, each of them are there's more working together, and there's more somebody. There's more direction.
There has to be some kind of communication between them so that they're kind of, not double dipping and kind of cock blocking each other. They're actually working together and saying, all right, you give this amount, you give this amount, and this reaches our $2 million that we need for this guy.
Yeah, and then with the coach, with Pantoni or whoever from the coaching staff, it's like, we need to make sure you take care of this guy. We're going to go get this guy in the portal. Like the coordination is. It seems like it's just there. Like some of the other schools, We have a new athletic director coming in that's very well versed, in that whole business as well. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
The fucking new president says he's a sports fan. That seems like a win.
Yeah. Military guy. No bullshit. Everything coming out of that Cotton Bowl, everybody being so down and how shitty everybody thought, the program was headed, just completely bounced right back. So it was like the Cotton Bowl never even happened. It definitely didn't hurt anything in our program,
Yeah.
It's really surprising that
it maybe actually helped and kind of lit a fire because it was just so awful. Like I said, I could care less if we won, but just the what we put out there was just so pathetic. I think maybe people are like, you know what, we need to do something here, and the money starts rolling in.
Yeah. We got the Mo. We're winning January. If there's a trophy for fucking January, we got it. Back to the chat here. Let's rifle through some more of these. Oh boy. Renaissance Worldwide. He's worse reading defenses than McCord, which is why McCord started talking about Devin Brown. Okay. The Spot says, and we have that kid Curtis coming in 26. No, we do not. Sorry. He canceled his visit this weekend to Columbus and has a crystal ball to Georgia. So again, it's 2026. He's not going to be on campus for 2 years. I'm not going to get all jazzed up about a 2026 kid yet. But as of right now, no, the momentum is in favor of Georgia. Renaissance Worldwide, huge chat guy tonight, says Day knows what he's doing with those kids. I agree there. And he says, I tell you what, Aaron Nolan is Braxton Miller 2.0. I would love to see how you came to that conclusion, because he's black.
Everything that I've seen from Aaron Nolan, he's a thrower. I mean, he's a passer of the ball. I don't think he's nearly as athletic as Braxton, but we don't know. I mean, how much do we really know about these kids? I mean, are we really watching their high school game tapes to break them down? I'm not casting any judgment on any kid that we hasn't even gotten into a college program yet.
I mean, off the top of my head,
he can sling it.
Braxton's a better athlete, and Air looks like a better quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. And there's very few people that you can say that are better athletes than Braxton Miller coming through Ohio State in the last 20 years.
Well, that's the thing. Aaron Nolan looks like a pretty good athlete too.
What? I'm not making a judgment about him better than anybody.
He's not a 4-3 guy. Let's just say that.
But Braxton was brought in, and was used to run that ball. I mean,
yeah. He had a nice strong arm, but he does not have the pinpoint accuracy of an Aaron Nolan to play the quarterback position. He could rifle it downfield. We saw the highlights a million times. But yeah, Braxton is his special trait. That's what you got to look at with every quarterback. Their special trait. What is it? His was his legs and his shake. I mean, look at the fucking spin move against Vatek as a receiver.
Sickest thing ever.
Legendary, man. I mean, look at the little do-si-do he did against Penn State down near the goal line to punch it in. Remember that? He was stopped in the backfield, did a little dance, make a little love, got in the end zone.
Oh, the Penn State, one of the greatest moves I've seen a quarterback ever make.
That's his special trait. Aaron Nolan's special trait is his release, his accuracy, his arm strength. That's Aaron Nolan's special trait.
Yeah, and we have a great developer, of quarterbacks with Ryan Day. Imagine Braxton under Ryan Day, he might have been able to develop more of that accuracy and been possibly an NFL quarterback. But the shoulder injury that took his quarterback playing away. So, anyways, we can get off all that. Let's go. Let's get to all the rest of this transfer portal that we just dominated.
All right. So let's go. You want to talk about Caleb Downs? Jeff,
why not?
You can take the lead.
Dude, yes. This kid I thought we had him last year. I was confident we were going to pull him last year. He was the top 5 player in the country, top 10 player in the country on every recruiting source. Number one safety, of course,
yeah,
by leaps and bounds. The rest of the guys were rush ends and quarterbacks, and and Caleb Downs. They say he played. I was listening on his. Byrne was breaking down his high school, recruiting stuff, and they said he could play the deep safety, but it would be more than comfortable and willing and able to play down in the box. He scored had 19 interceptions in high school, 4-year starter in high school, 19 interceptions, 45 pass breakups. He threw for a couple of touchdowns, scored receiving, had 6 touchdowns, he was a tailback. Was the breakdown was he could have been a D1 tailback very easily.
yeah.
But yeah, he's
Yeah,
expected.
he went
was
both ways
expected-
at Mill Creek.
Yeah, first state title they've ever won. Played as a baseball player, basketball, National Honor Society. His uncle is Dre Bly. His brother plays for the Rams right now. I think his dad played in the league.
You got a resume,
dude. Yeah,
It's in the blood.
This kid. And we were Joe. How confident were we that last week of the signing period last year? And then Bama got the last visit, and Saban did what Saban does. No brainer to get him. Now it does kind of throw off. It's going to lose some of our younger guys. Maybe a Hawkins or even Lee Hartford. They might be jumping in because they know this dude is coming in to start. The shuffling of Joe, I was listening to your Daily Blitz about the shuffling of the 2 deep.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Yeah. We'll see how that all shapes out coming out of winter and going into spring where they start moving guys around. But if this guy's going to be our deep safety, he is and I love Josh Proctor. He is a automatic already 1 year in the program or 1 year in football in college, already an upgrade over 6 years with Proctor. I think he's a playmaker. He's a surefire without injury. First round pick.
Did he play at Bama?
Did he play? He was freshman All-American, 100 tackles, punt returner. He played. Joe, give him the snaps.
Why is he leaving? Just because we throwing bags of money at him and Saban left.
He jumped in the portal when Saban left, and it was us in Georgia. Kirby Smart's playing chess too. He hired Downs' position coach immediately. As soon as Saban left, he hired the dude from Bama,
Tavares Robinson,
who's an outstanding coach, up and coming. Everybody's talking glowingly about
recruiter.
him. Yeah, but we came with the money. I can't believe I can't believe we outbid Georgia. I think we outsold them. You know what I mean? I can't believe the money. I can't believe we just came with so much more money than Georgia could offer.
I don't think it was about that. If you remember,
I think they sold him. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's just that either. The family, Downs' family, was not real happy with Georgia because they never offered Caleb's older brother, who's now in the NFL. They never offered him at Georgia. So they seem to have held a little bit of a grudge there. But then I heard that Caleb went to dinner Thursday night with the coaches in Georgia, in Athens, picked out an apartment and everything. Then met with Ohio State on Friday, made the decision to go to Ohio State. So something changed. I don't think it was all about the dollar bills either, because again, his dad played in the NFL. The uncle's Dre Bly. But I will say, Jeff, you mentioned the snap counts between positions. He can play every position in our secondary.
Yeah.
He played 287 snaps at deep safety, the adjuster, they call it. He played 285 at the box safety down in, the bandit. Then he played 267 in the slot, so the nickel.
Damn.
Across the board, he basically played the exact same number of snaps at all 3 safety positions and same defense. Oh, and then he also played 28 snaps at corner. Dude's a stud.
Yeah, and the
Who's
punt
gonna lose
returner.
their job? I mean, we got a lot of dudes in the secondary.
Well, think about this, Shawn. Think about this. Proctor left, who was playing our deep safety. So you would think that Malik Hartford was the heir apparent or whatever, the guy that had the inside track. Nobody's losing a starting job. Malik Hartford didn't automatically have it. So if he slides into where Proctor was, that's just a replacement. Hartford stays, second team.
So those are your two safeties, and then who else in your secondary?
We're talking about Hancock, IGB, and
Berg. And we're talking about Ransom coming back. We're hoping that he comes back 100%. But what if Ransom isn't that he's maybe a half step slower, or maybe he's lost something from all these injuries. He's had a couple big injuries to his legs. So if Ransom comes back, just as good as he was, he's going to start. He's going to play that what they call it, the bandit. Is that right, Joe?
I had 100% think Ransom
be start. He'll be the.
I'm saying Ransom will start if he's as good, if he didn't fall off at all. And I hope he didn't. I hope he comes back 100% and he's, at the level he was before the injury. But we don't know. Multiple injuries. You never know how he's going to recover.
I got a show coming up on Tuesday. Tomorrow is 2025 and 2026 recruiting stuff. On Tuesday, I'm actually talking about the topic that we're going to lead right into right here quickly as we're winding down. Moving Sonny down to will linebacker, so taking over Steel Chambers' spot, or even possibly edge rusher as a speed, typical edge rusher. So look for that on Tuesday. We don't need to get into all of it right now, but this is a real option. So it's a domino effect here. So that's Shawn's kind of getting to, what do you do with Sonny Styles is the question he's asking.
Yeah, because we were texting on that, and it's just like, okay, we got all these dudes that how are you going to keep any of them off the field? Right.
And Sonny's body is just naturally taking him to linebacker. Like he's at 230.
I mean, if you went him on the outside, I think maybe Hicks on the inside, and then I guess Simon's out.
No, Simon's your Mike. There's no two ways about that. CJ's not a Mike. He's not even ready for that. You need your quarterback of the defense like Eichenberg to get everybody lined up, diagnose the play and stuff like that. So CJ's not a Mike. CJ would be a Will if you didn't move Sonny down. Now, if you move Sonny down to the Will, CJ could be finally that jack position they've been trying to run, or he could just be an edge rusher. CJ can do that. He's fast as fuck. You give him one job to do and he can do it. When he's in you give him too much to do, he doesn't do it well. I've seen him try and play defense in coverage and stuff, and he gets confused. It seems like he doesn't, he looks like a freshman out there. Like just this past season, I saw him multiple times be in the game, even in garbage time, like just not know what to do, not know his assignment. It seemed like, and he's a fast guy. He's a
leaning on his athleticism and not the read and react,
just triggering. Yeah. Because he's thinking too much.
And maybe we have to look at the fact that maybe he, highly touted 5-star, one of the best in the country coming out, but maybe not all the 5-stars develop into that level at the college point. Maybe, maybe he won't get to that point. If him and Sonny Styles, both 5-stars, we'll see how the spring goes. He's going to have to make a leap to get on the field. They're looking at his athleticism. They're going to try to find a spot for him. But like you said, Joe, if he's constantly blowing assignments, you're going to be a real fast, athletic dude on special teams. He's got to get that handling your assignments and knowing what to do. He's got to get that down, or he won't see the field. I think that's what's holding him back. He was a better athlete than Steel Chambers. But he couldn't surpass Steel Chambers because Steel would make plays and knew what he was doing. You know. So
And
we'll see.
he was
We'll see.
a more veteran player that had been there forever. So
Yes,
and Sonny could get up to fucking 250 at the drop of the hat. You know, like I'm saying,
that's the one. That's the one spot we're
spring
loaded
ball.
at, though. With JT and Sawyer both coming back, and then you got
Curry and
Kenyatta.
Kenyatta. We think.
I don't.
Right.
I don't feel like there's a need there.
No, I'm saying Will linebacker is the need. I'll take Sonny over CJ Hicks if that's what it comes down to.
From what we've seen of the both of them, yes.
Yeah.
And we only got Sonny. We only got Sonny one more year. This 24s.
Yeah.
You know, he's the NFL is going to salivate over what they can do with Sonny Styles.
Mm-hmm.
But Isaiah Simmons was, you know, a top 4 or 5 pick, and he's on his second team already, and not an impact player. And we also saw him at Clemson, just being like that's what I thought Sonny Styles would, you know, could be. Play any,
Right.
you know, 5 different positions.
That's the obvious comparison, for recent years. But these are the two questions you have to ask. Do the coaches owe it to the player? And we've had these discussions before about other Buckeyes in the past. Do the coaches owe it to the player to put him in a spot where he's going to be at his best for the team right now? Or do the coaches owe it to the player to put him in a position to get him ready for the NFL?
There's a way to do both.
Those could be very different answers.
They could be.
One leads to the other typically, but
there's some examples I could bring up.
Isaiah Simmons, he's not doing so well because he never really found a position.
Yeah, we talked about that positionless football. You know, we had a discussion last year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was a huge thing.
You know, for college, he was great. You know, he was a game wrecker for college. But yeah, he got in the NFL, and he's like, well, do we play him at strong safety? Do we play him outside linebacker? You know,
yeah.
Sonny Styles, I think they're gonna narrow. This is the year that they're gonna nail it down. And if he plays one position this year, I think they're going to stick him at one spot, whether it be at will or keep him at safety, whatever they do. He's going to have that 1 year. Because he's gone next year. I mean, he's you know,
I think what you said is it's all in this year.
Part.
There's you're not going to do anybody any favors this year. Nobody gets a free pass. It's all in, and nobody's even got a job. And this is going to be, I think, a really competitive camp.
Oh, for sure. I mean, because we've added depth everywhere. I mean, besides O-line, we've
like,
built depth.
Figure out who our best 11 are.
With the juniors coming back, yeah. You know, the thing of Baron Browning, we never found the right spot for him. He goes in the NFL. Him and Cooper both. They look just like
coaches are greedy. Look, they're trying to win games. They don't. I mean, usually it takes a lot of NFL talent to win a lot of games at high level college football, but those coaches don't. They're trying to figure it out as best for them. It's definitely there over the player.
And I think our coaching staff is better now than it was.
That's a position Ryan Day's in, like we mentioned right off the top. Ryan Day's ass is on the line. So I think he has to press, and I'm sure he is, he's pressing that button on all of his staff, saying, look, we need the best 11 on the fucking field at all times.
There's no tomorrow.
Exactly. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Damn, so you say like what's best for the kid as far as his NFL future, that's out the window right now. And I tell most of these coaches, I think that's how they all are. I think, you know, even Kirby Smart, even Saban, he puts what's best for them, but you know, his outside linebackers, Saban's outside linebackers in a 3-4. They go to the NFL and they're 3-4 rush outside linebackers. I mean, it's best for him in college for their team, you know, for Bama, but then they go and play that same position in the NFL, and most of them succeed there. So it's kind of it can be both.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if Sonny Styles will get to that rush end size. But maybe
No,
by
but
the
still,
maybe
that's why I say will linebacker is my position of choice for him, because I know he can go sideline to sideline at 6'4", 240.
I mean, if you're talking about getting him up to 250, fuck it, make him Mike. Imagine he's the next Mike Singletary out there, killing people.
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, there's going to be injuries. So I mean, but we have the depth. We have we're you talk about playing that 16 games. You get into the playoffs, having that time of our depth is better than 99% of the schools in the country. I would say we're right up there with Georgia as far as depth. I don't know who else. I don't know who else can jump into that category besides us and Georgia. With what Michigan's losing, what Bama's lost.
I know. Joe keeps his ear to the ground. What's going? Have Ohio State's odds like this week with all these transfers? Are they going up, up, up?
No, not really up. No, they're
down,
still
down,
second.
down, or
no, they're still second to Georgia right now. I just actually did the odds on a show last week, and we might have moved like 0.5. Georgia's plus 350 still. We're plus 550. And then Texas is plus 700, Oregon 800. That's the top four.
Well, last I looked, we were tied with Texas. I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I did the show a couple of days ago, middle of the week, maybe, we were right around 500, 600. So hasn't changed much, which is surprising.
We had a tight end that wasn't going to move the needle, and adding a safety, even though he is a game changer type player, a safety is not going to move that needle too much. We got a bump when we got Will Howard, but the guys we've added are great for our team, but they're not great for. It's not a Marvin Harrison Jr. at receiver coming in who's this.
No, but I mean, look at that secondary is all probably early draft pick NFL guys. The whole group.
Our initial
first rounders for
initially.
Sure.
Yeah, the last two guys and a freshman quarterback coming in, obviously that's not going to move the needle. I thought we should have gotten a bigger bump when all those guys announced they were coming back than we did. I was surprised our odds didn't go up higher then, because they're the ones that are going to make the difference. But that's fine. Being the second favorite to win the national title. We've been there. Oh, that's old hat for us. Being one of the expected. 2 or 3 schools. It's so we just got to take care of it. We just got to use all these guys right, because we got so much. It almost got like a second recruiting class with all the juniors coming back.
I know that's a lot of smoke. I hope they can handle it.
Yeah. All right. Well, great show, everybody. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Sorry we couldn't get to every comment down there to the end, but we got more than 2/3 of them at least. But I appreciate everybody. Don't forget, please hit the like button on the way out the door. We got almost 330 views tonight, but only 13 likes. We're still not doing well there. We could please get the likes up. Hey, we're dangerously close to 3,000 subscribers also, by the way. I think we're close to 2,900. So we should be there shortly. But I appreciate everybody popping in. Jeff, Shawn, appreciate you.
Yes,
always,
sir.
brother. Always.
Talk to you
Talk to you later. Go Bucks.